Go 3, 2, and 1. Well, Mayor Diny, welcome back at a Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com.
Good to be back,
Yeah,
Michael.
absolutely.
Welcome.
I mean, it's been a busy couple of weeks here in Wausau, but one thing we wanted to talk about this week is something that, not a lot of people, it's not really on their minds because when you think of the airport in the area, you're generally talking about Central Wisconsin Airport. But we have our downtown airport here as well. Of course, it's weekend every year with Wings Over Wausau, but you also wanted to highlight some improvements that you're going to be making to that facility as
Sure.
well.
So it's Wausau's downtown airport. It's a real gem here in town. And whenever the governor flies in, he flies in there. We have a lot of businesses fly in. But we've got an FAA grant to rebuild the terminal and remodel and reconstruct our terminal, which is really like the welcome mat for the city. And it's probably at 70 to 80% completion. So that grant covers 95% of the funding for that. So it's a real win-win for the city. And it should be online hopefully end of this month, early August.
Yeah, and again, this is something that not a lot of people are going to use. It's not like we're going to have a flight, to Minneapolis or Appleton or anything like that out of this airport. But as far as making Wausau a business hub and access to downtown, things like that are important.
Well, our business traffic is growing. Our general aviation and business traffic is up, and the events are up there. We mentioned Wings Over Wausau. A week and a half from now, we're going to have the AirVenture Cup. We'll have over 100 aircraft landing there and performing a race, starting and finishing in Wausau. I've been invited to go along as a co-pilot. I'll be helping navigate, maybe do some radio traffic, and just have some fun flying the AirVenture Cup for the EAA. It's a pre-event to the EAA air show, so a lot of the folks will be heading to the EAA after that.
Yeah. So, and what does this mean then for Wausau once we get a bunch of planes landing and taking off from our airport like that?
Well, it sells out the Jefferson Street Inn and other hotels in the area. A lot of them, they're flying in, so they're flying from all over the country, some other countries even. So there's some international flights here, and they can drop their gear, stay at the Jefferson Street Inn, walk downtown almost to a person. I had a chance to meet all 100 last year. All pilots told me how great this city is. So this will be, I think, our third year doing it, hosting it here in Wausau for the complete race. I think we have a 5-year deal with them, but they love starting and stopping in Wausau and spending time in Wausau. So that's a great catalyst event just to get word of mouth all corners of the country. Wausau's a great place to visit. Wausau's a great place a welcoming place.
So then when these terminal renovations are complete, then you're going to have just kind of an even better first impression of the city then, right?
Yes, it really is the welcoming, it's the gateway to the city, at least for business aviation. And if you go onto our website, you'll see a recent video we did, and we did a tour of the terminal as it is now, and then we'll do another one as it exists in a couple of weeks. One of the neat features there is we're going to have a glass opening garage door type thing facing the runway, so we'll be able to open that in the summer, and that terminal will be open to the ramp and activities going on at the airfield. He'll have all of his model planes that they've had. It'll be museum quality terminal, and it was built. It's a historic building in town. It's just going to be great to see that renovated and then used as it should be, and used as an airport should be, as an open door to the world.
Absolutely. So when can we expect to see these completed? And I guess when would we have a ribbon cutting or something?
Sure.
Like
Our
that
goal
then?
was to have it operational by AirVenture Cup. We're going to be on the verge of that. It may be end of the month. but it'll be great when it's here. We had a couple of delays on getting the door in, some weather issues, and there was some more damage to the roof that we didn't know when we dug into it. But it will be this summer. It will be operational, and John and Angie down there are chomping at the bit. You know, we'll have our hamburger nights where we'll have fly-ins from other area FBOs and people just coming in to enjoy what we have here in Wausau.
Absolutely. Well, look forward to that, and I'll look forward to that ribbon cutting in the near future then as well. Invite. Yeah, I certainly hope so, because I mean, even, you know, it's been 7-8 years up here for me, and I believe the only time I've only been to that downtown airport once, and I believe it was because the governor was visiting. So there are still places here that I really haven't been to and haven't made connections, and the airport's one of them. And really, you know, it sounds like it probably should be.
It should be. I'll bring you down. I go down there as often as I can. So once you get hooked on aviation and flight, it's just a great place to hang out. They even have we have the old they call them something. The old guys, they come in usually every morning and have coffee there. So it's a gathering space as well. It'll be nice to get them back in. That goes back to when Pat Peckham would hold court down there.
Of course.
With all we had some World War II veterans. We just a lot of old veterans come down, hang out, have a cup of coffee, hangar talk, just camaraderie. So it's a great place to be.
Absolutely. One big decision that was made last week, of course, regarding the overnight shelter services, City Council voting 8-3 to approve that contract with the Bridge Street Mission. A couple of concerns that were brought up last night about the contract. I know we had one lawyer that kind of got up and spoke and said, you know, this isn't really all that well written, but Chief Barnes made it sound like, yeah, we haven't put ink to paper yet on this technically. What are the next steps then with this contract? Are you maybe going to finalize a couple details there before it gets filed away?
Sure. So I think the biggest takeaway is to a person, even for the 3 who voted against it, they all recognize we need to do something to help our homeless and our unhoused population that we have here in town. I mean, we have to acknowledge that, and they all did. So the next step, now that it's approved, is that the Bridge Street Missions Board has to approve that. So we're optimistic that they're going to see that it's a good business partner for the city, or it's a good opportunity for them to launch this night emergency shelter with the city's cooperation, and then we'll go from there. So if there may be some tweaks in the language, we'll look at that, but the next step is for them to feel comfortable with it, and we'll go from there. It's been a long time in the making, though.
Right, and you know, I don't think anybody would fault the city for, you know, being in the position that they were in, finding out that this overnight shelter was going to be closing with just a few months' notice, having to not only scramble to prop your own up, but then having to scramble to try and find somebody else to run it full time, because obviously the city does not want to be in this business full time, right?
Well, and it's the way we're currently structured, it's not practical. So we have a temporary solution with the Methodist Church a couple of blocks over, and you know, as far as the certain aspects you saw the chief talk about last night, it is truly a temporary situation, because in order for us to get enough showers, enough laundry, enough the proper kitchen to be a full-time service kitchen, it takes some investment. It also takes staffing, and we have the luxury. We have a lot of volunteers, and that's been helpful. We also have some staff, and then we have the ability to flex. Occasionally you'll see some CSOs down there. So we have some police staffing capacity that, you know, isn't something that is a full-time nature. So so for the city to continue to run something is not a desirable option, and people who are experts at running them, when we've recognized Bridge Street Mission as an expert in the field, we've had Craig Vincent come testify to the council. He's answered questions, as an expert in the field. He was on the city county task force as an expert in the field, and has a lot of great ideas on what works, what doesn't work. So I think it's a positive, moving the cheese, if you will. And if you look back 5 years ago where we were to compare to where we potentially are today, it's the move in the right direction.
Then, as far as the financial aspect, how important was it for this to be just a 5-year deal, where this eventually gets to the point where it, in theory, will be able to stand on its own? Do you see that being something that can be achieved?
Oh yes, and that's the most important part about it. If you look, you can go on to you can see the fundraising that they have done. They raise funds, and they have people who support because they understand the mission. They understand the need for caring for the homeless in the capacity that they have, and they can. So they're experts in that field. And part of the charter, after we did the task force and that agreement with the county, was come up with a 5-year strategic plan and find a way that it wouldn't be a continuous operational expense on the city. So short term, you heard some alders say they wish it was only 1 year. 5 years is, to some seems like a long time, but if you're going to be putting millions of dollars into it, where some of the private funds are coming from, they want to make sure then that it's operationally sustainable after that 5-year point. And I think that's a reasonable number to ask for, because you don't want to flip them just enough to get going, and then now they're hobbling along and can't make it.
Right.
We want the service to be there. We want it to be dignified. We want it to be professional. And I think this is a way to go.
And then lastly, I know one thing that the alders had brought up was a guarantee of investment from Marathon County. Have you had the chance to talk with Administrator Leonard or members of the board about this yet? Do you get the feeling that they will likely be on board with this in some capacity?
Well, of course, I can't speak for how the board will review it, but I think Administrator Leonard was involved with us on the RFP. He reviewed the contract with Chief Barnes, so they are on board, and I think they are committed philosophically. And now that next piece is to take it to that next year, and then that diminishing sunsetting contract. They have probably not seen that yet in its entirety, but the concept of partnering with us was there, and I think we saw that in that joint meeting that we held. I'm optimistic, sure, that they will come along.
Absolutely. Well, Mayor Diny, we always appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again next month, and maybe getting some stories from your road trip in the sky with the airplane as you dust out the aviation skills.
I'll invite you. You come down and get a few, talk to some of the aviators. But I'll see you next month if I don't see you then.
Absolutely.